Hey everybody, it's Scott from Filmora Effects again, and today I just wanted to quickly show you how I made this little ASMR short rib video. And I've got masking, special effects from Boris, transitions, keyframing, and Rgb Curves. Now that feature is available in Filmora 11.6, which is what I used to make this with. Let me show you what I did. There's a whole lot going on here. And first off, I'll just say right away, the Boris effects that I'm using are a paid add-on effect. There are plenty of effects available that get close to it, where you don't have to use a paid effect. I just happened to have it, so I liked it, the Ambient Light, and I use it. It just gives me this really good reflection almost on the meat. So that we'll just start from the top track down. There's an area right over here where I didn't want to use Ambient Light because it just didn't work, but I needed to brighten it up. I also have color graded these using the Rgb Curves, the new feature. I'll show you how I did that. And then I go back to the light in combination with, and you can see that light source kind of shining right there. That light was not naturally there. You just added it. So we're going to go from the top down. Okay, what we got going on over here is a little complicated, but I made it work. I actually took the image that was on the meat package. That's there. I didn't type that in. Now I could have just added text there, but what's the fun of that, right? And so instead I did a mask. And to keep things organized, I left this clip in. Now this clip is not entirely necessary. I'll take it out for you. Didn't change anything. But I left it in just to keep all my stuff lined up and everything equal, and but technically I could have removed it. So what I did is I took this image and did a freeze frame on it. And in order to try to show you that, I'm going to just remove some things. Take out the top line too. So and then I created a mask. So I did a freeze frame on the clip that showed the name of the meat, and then I did a freeze frame. Then I extended that freeze frame out as long as I needed it to be, and I put a mask on the freeze frame. Okay, I did a rectangle, as you can see. I had to off-center it slightly and adjust it, and I'm going to bring in the clip underneath, and now you can see what's going on there. And I'll remove the top track. So I did a mask here, and because I put a clip on top of this clip, I was able to leave this one in, and it didn't affect anything. Alright, turn the light source back on. You can see how that ambient light, boy, what a difference. I love these Boris effects, but again, it is a paid effect. You certainly do not need to buy anything other than your Filmora subscription. There are so many things that I could have used, but Boris in this case just did it better. I'm going to mute the audio for a second. So as we come across, you can see that I did a freeze frame with a mask in order to get the words up there, because that's not a font you can easily find, and I like the font. Okay, then we move on, and I did this vertically. This was another contest type thing. So I did this vertically, which actually worked out pretty well. I was able to put it out on, TikTok and stuff like that. So now so that was just a scroll across. There's nothing here except the ambient light coming in. Then we come over. Again, all camera moves with ambient light. Again, simply camera moves with ambient light. Okay, now we're going to get into some cool stuff. I did a slow-mo, and let me just stop right here and tell you what I did. I'm using a Google Pixel 4a. Currently, I filmed this in 4K at 60 frames a second because I knew somewhere in here I wanted to do a slow-mo, and this is my slow-mo. So this part of this slow-mo is 0.4, a little less than half. I increased the volume right here. That's the pop sound. Okay, and that sound is real. I recorded that. So I'm popping open this homemade jar of barbecue sauce, which by the way was unbelievable. Oh my God. Handmade here in Colorado. Then as we get to the next scene, I dropped this one to, what is it, 0.29. I wanted this one really slow. I wanted that drip right there. Boom. Boom. That's the drip. Remember, this was an ASMR video. ASMR can be triggered by sight, sounds, and various things. So I've tried to incorporate a little bit of everything in here, including some sounds of the hissing. Right here is the hissing sound of the pressure cooker. Okay. So this one had a keyframe in it, and what I did was scale in. It's a pretty simple keyframe. I use this one quite a bit to show some sort of movement when there isn't any movement. I was actually holding the camera very still on this one, and I decided that I wanted to really zoom in. I wanted you to see the little water bubbles popping out of the top. Okay. This one, as you can see, one of the things I did was increase the volume because I want you to hear that sizzle, man. So what I did, this is my Blackstone griddle. What I did there is I simply cranked up the heat, put on some olive oil until it was smoking hot, literally, and dropped that on. Now, I had to reduce the heat to actually cook it later on, but for the video purposes, I wanted you to see, and then right there I did a dissolve that takes you from one scene to the next scene seamlessly. Look at that. Is that beautiful? And this is when we start in on our RGB curves. So for that, we'll go up to color, advanced, adjust, and you can see the curve. And what I did, I don't want to click on this again, but what I did was pretty simple. I used the color picker. I found one of the colors I wanted to enhance from the original, and I did. And then I adjusted it here with the curve. I moved this little dot around. I'll go ahead and move it because I can not save this. So I moved this around, and you can see the color change. And that's kind of where it was when it started, somewhere up there. So I brought it in just where I wanted it. You can also slide the slider down. Let's say you want to get it something very dark. Anyway, you get the idea. We're not going to save that. So, I want to go back to that one more time. I apologize. When I did that, I saved that as a custom. So I saved that as a custom when I got my color just the way I wanted it, and I used that effect again and again and again, and I'll show you how I did it. So there I did an RGB curve and got what I wanted. Here, I simply double-clicked, went to Advanced, went to Custom, and picked it, and it was called Meat. So I applied Meat to all of the rest of the clips to get that same perfect set of colors all the way through. Again, right here, I cranked up the volume. We're doing some sizzling. Okay, here I did a fade, not a dissolve. I did a fade, fade in, fade in. Volume maxed here because we're doing a lot of sizzling on the griddle. And then the final shot, and by the way, here I took off the Boris and I added sunny days. I just wanted it bright. It didn't want that reflective ambient light. It didn't look right. I put it back over here on the final cut. And again, over here, I used Custom and Meat, which gave it a dark red color, which is exactly what I wanted. And as we cut in, no speed here. I just simply cut slower on that one. I just cut real slow. And as we come up, everything is kind of red. I fade out quickly because I actually got a little blur in there, and that's how I took the blur out. I just faded to black. So I put in a sample color black here, did a quick fade, and faded to black. And that is it, everybody. That is how I did it. I'm very happy with the results. It was a short video, and like usual, it took me a lot longer to edit it than to film it. It took me a few minutes to film it and about 2 days to edit it. Really enjoy making that. Boris, I know, again, it's a paid effect. I'm just going to show it to you. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff here, and I believe I was under this category of BCC. That's Boris Continuum, something like that, plus lights. And I want to show you something. When we double click the ambient light feature here, these aren't just regular plug-in add-ons. Everything with Boris is crazy customizable. You can really dig in and get what you want. And I did. This gels right here was not the default. I spent quite a bit of time choosing that. Look at all the different colors. I adjusted some brightness. I did not mess with the color. Then you can actually get down into here. You can turn the pixel chooser on. You can get super intense. There's mask, gradients, mats. There's another program that it will launch called Mocha. I'll go ahead and launch it for you. This is a separate program. Filmora is still running in the background. So you can get in there, and let's say that's a little piece of ice, for example. Let's say I wanted to get rid of that piece of ice. Well, there are ways to do that as well. So Boris is not just a set of static plugins. They are all highly customizable, and if you're doing videos, particularly for other people, you're trying to make money with them, I don't see any reason not to pay for it, because it's just going to make you more money. Anyway, again, I used Ben's Sound, one of my favorite places to grab some music. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, leave me comments, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.